government has just approved a second dose of the COVID booster for the elderly and immunocompromised. The bivalent booster shot targets the Omicron variants. Seniors 65 years and older can now receive the updated booster 4 months after their first dose. Meanwhile, people with weak immune systems can get an additional shot of the vaccine after 2 months. To help us understand why this is a significant move in the fight against COVID-19, I'm joined by Dr. Jeremy Faust, emergency physician at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston and the author of Inside Medicine on Substack. Dr. Faust, welcome and thanks for joining us. These steps are very targeted to vulnerable populations, to seniors and the immunocompromised. Does this make sense to you as the right move given where we are in this pseudo-post-pandemic world right now?
Thank you for having me. This move does make sense because it acknowledges that there is a large spectrum of risk out there. It is a one-size-fits-all approach really wouldn't make sense, treating a 10-year-old with no medical problems with the same vaccine strategy as a 70-year-old who has cancer and is on chemotherapy. So I think that today's move really addresses that discrepancy and allows for a little bit of nuance in terms of how we approach the next phase.
At the same time, we should know booster uptake has been very low. These shots do no good just sitting on the shelves. Only about 20% of all adults have gotten that updated booster since September. So isn't that an argument for just opening it up to anyone who wants it?
Well, there are downsides to overboosting, but in the high-risk population, what wins the day are the upsides. So in terms of a short-term prevention against severe hospitalizations and mortality deaths, the benefit for that high-risk group, the severely immune-compromised, older populations in general, does make it worthwhile because there could be a downside of overboosting, which is that we are training our immune system to expect a particular virus. And if we keep showing it the same thing over and over again, including half of this vaccine, which still has half of the Wuhan virus in it, we actually risk a longer-term increase in infections. So I really support the idea of zeroing in on the people who need that protection from the serious outcomes because we know that in a short period of time, it works very, very well.
What about what's ahead, especially for younger and healthy people? Could we be seeing another shot being offered for them as we move through the summer and into another fall and winter season?
I think the CDC and the FDA is signaling an annual kind of cycle for the general population, the younger, healthier populations.
I think that's appropriate.
I think that the value add of a booster for younger, healthy populations hasn't always been that clear. We've always lumped in young and healthy with older and sicker when making the booster for all argument. Nowadays, I think we're being a little bit more nuanced, and so offering it less often for the lower risk makes a ton of sense. I do think that in June, we're going to hear more about what they're going to put into a fall booster, and I suspect and I hope that it will be a booster that only contains virus that is currently circulating.
Only contains virus that is currently circulating.